We hit a total of 3 thrift shops, and we got quite an array of different goodies. My family calls it my superpower. It's my ability to see value in things that other people might overlook. Sometimes I go picking with my boyfriend, sometimes it's my best friend Sue, and sometimes it's my kids. But at the end of the day, it's all about having fun and hopefully just maybe making a profit. Okay, out on the table here, I have everything from our most recent shopping video with Juliet. We hit a total of 3 thrift shops, and we got quite an array of different goodies. We got glassware, we got ceramics, we've got just about anything you can think of out on the table. So we're gonna go over real quick everything that we got, what we paid for it, and how much I think I can get for it in my Etsy shop or on my new eBay account that I just recently opened. So, okay, we're gonna start at the Goodwill, the first Goodwill that we went to. And there really wasn't a whole lot to get there, actually. We only got one item, and that was this pair of salt and pepper shakers here. Now, they're just a hugging little pair of salt and pepper shakers. I didn't actually take the tape off. So they're not actually hugging at the moment, but they are intended to be hugging salt and pepper shakers. They're marked Rittenhouse Reunion 1956. Now, I Googled Rittenhouse Reunion 1956 and couldn't find what that meant. So I'm not sure if that was a school, if that was like a family reunion, I don't know. But they're pretty neat. Apparently they were the same salt and pepper shakers from an episode of Bones. They used like some similar salt and pepper shakers, which is really cool. I really appreciate one of my viewers putting that down in the comments. I would have never known that, but that's actually really neat. So, and it just was the only item that I found at the first Goodwill because the shelves were pretty much picked clean. So after that, we went to the second Goodwill where we had a little bit more luck, despite the screaming, playing, yelling, crashing stuffed children that were in the shop. It was a little bit intense, but we survived and we got some goodies there. So let's go over those things real quick. First of all, one of the first things we grabbed was this canister right here. I actually did take the tape off to make sure that it wasn't cracked. A lot of the times they'll have chips along the edges and they'll tape it shut. And then when I take the tape off, it's like, oh look, there's a giant chip in it. Go figure. Now I paid $3 for this canister. I would probably expect to get $28 to $32 for this. I can't find another one similar to it online. So that makes me feel good about it. It's kind of almost a majolica cut. It's got this floral basket weave on it. It's a really nice piece, actually. It is marked made in Japan. So this was the first canister that we picked up. Then after that, we came across these 3 canisters. Now, I wanted to say that they were like little kitty treat canisters because they got fish on them. But I'm just not sure, and I'm not even sure the age of them. I cannot find any like this canister. I cannot find any comparable canisters online. Now when I open this up, I get this really, really strong tea smell. This like overpowering, it's almost like a Christmas tea though. It reminds me of the tea that I drink at Christmas time. It's like cinnamon and cloves. It's a very strong tea smell. So I think whoever owned these actually probably used them for tea and not kitty treats. I'm not even sure if I can get rid of that smell, so whoever's buying them is going to end up with tea smelling canisters. But yeah, I want to say that they're older because there is some crazing on the ceramics, and there's absolutely no mark on them, but I picked up 3 of them and they're all exactly the same size. So they're not graduated, they're all the same size. I would probably sell them separately. I think if they were a set, I would sell them together, but they're not. They're all the same size, they're all identical, so I'm going to sell them separately. I did pay $5 for all 3 of them, so I think I'm probably going to ask $35 to $45 for each of them. Given that I don't know their age, I'm not really sure how I don't know much about them, unfortunately, but they smell good. I do know that. They smell good. I like the smell, so normally you wouldn't catch me smelling stuff this much, but I'm like, oh my gosh, I really like the smell of those. So I'm not really sure. Maybe if you know anything more about these, you could leave it in the comments for me, and I may adjust my pricing based on what you guys leave me in the comments. But I think that's kind of where I stand on the canisters. They do need cleaned up. I say this in every video. Everything goes straight from the thrift store onto the table, so they're pretty filthy dirty, but they will clean up nicely, I am convinced. So got 3 of the canisters, probably $35 to $45 a piece for those, and depending on what you guys leave me in the comments, if you guys can find one comparable, that would be awesome, but I couldn't find anything, and I did do a little bit of research trying to find something. Now let's move on to this Bristol glass vase. This was a fun find. I paid $3 for this, and I normally don't go down that aisle. I know that sounds crazy. I do skip aisles occasionally, but that particular aisle is glassware. It's just cups. And eventually, I've been down that aisle so many times and not found anything that it's like, why would I bother? But I went down the aisle and I got the Bristol glass vase for $3. This one is a larger one than the ones that I previously sold. The ones that I got at the flea market recently, I had sold those for $16 a piece. This one I would expect to get at least double that, so I'm thinking this one could probably sell between $28 and $35 for the size and for the color. It's not, now the clam broth, which was the white color, is a more common color. This is not as common. I mean, it is common, but it's not as common as the white color Bristol glass. So I'm expecting to get a little bit more for this piece. But again, Bristol glass doesn't go for a whole lot of money, so I'm not expecting like a ton of money. But when you've only got $3 into it, there's a profit there. You know what I'm saying? But if you find Bristol glass, don't go thinking you're going to get totally rich on it, because it's not worth a lot of money. So now this purse is just a really fun mother of pearl purse. You can see why I like it. I'm always talking about the lines. I love the lines on this thing. I paid $6 for this. I don't even think I looked at the price when I bought this. Now for this piece, I would probably ask $25 to $30 for it. The inside is marked Mad Bags. It doesn't have any funny smells. It doesn't smell like tea though. It just says Mad Bags, and I don't know if it's actual mother of pearl. Kind of sounds like it though, doesn't it? I don't know if it's actual mother of pearl or if it's faux mother of pearl, but it looks real to me. There's kind of I'd say it's real. Yeah, so it's just a fun bag. I love the shape of it. What more is there to say? It's a fun shape. It's a fun contrast of colors between the handle and the bag itself, the dark and the light. It's a great purse. So I'm going to be listing that on my Etsy. Now this I paid $5 for. This is made in Italy. A couple weeks ago, you guys probably remember in a video, Sue and I had gone to the community aid and we saw a centerpiece that was fruit, similar to this, and it was rather large, but it had chipping on it. Now a piece like that without chips would have sold for $250 to $300 in pristine condition. So when I found this, I was like, you know, I know how much that large one would sell for. I'm going to take a chance on this. And I paid $5 for it. It's probably going to sell between $25 and $30. There are no chips or cracks on it, but it's just the small scale. It doesn't sell as well as the big statement pieces that are like, hello, I'm a centerpiece. This is just a little bowl of fruit. So still gonna make my money back on it. Gonna make a little bit of profit, but not as much profit as I would have on a centerpiece. So let's talk about the Texas mug. Now the Texas mug was just kind of a fluke because I was actually grabbing the Texas mug to move it out of the way to get to the canister. But after I grabbed it and I kind of got a closer look at it, I thought, you know, I really kind of like that Texas mug. So I ended up taking it home with me. I paid $1 for the Texas mug, and I'd probably ask 20 to $22 for it. I don't know, somewhere in that range. Let's talk about the crackle glass vase. Oh, the crackle glass gets me every time. I paid $1 for the crackle glass though. I usually pick it up for cheap. Well, I try to anyway. If you guys remember the pitcher, I think I paid like $4 for the green pitcher in one of my most recent videos. That was a moment of weakness. I only paid $1 for this one. Now this one would probably sell between $15 and $18. It is a really vibrant marigold yellow, and it's got crackles on it because that's Juliet picked it up. It's her job to, you know, find the cracks and the chips on pieces before I buy them. That is her mission. And so I picked this up and she looked right at it and said, "That's got cracks." Yes, it does. Thank you, Juliet. You get a prize. It does have cracks. It is crackle glass. So I just love this piece. I love the color of it. But moving right along, let's talk about these. Oh my gosh, as I knock everything off the table. I paid $2 for a bunch of coasters. Now, some of these vintage coasters can sell for good money, but they were all stuffed in a bag and I couldn't really see a whole lot of them. Some of them are not vintage. I'm finding out as I'm going through them. Like a Beta Turbo Dog is definitely not vintage because I occasionally drink that myself and I know that's not vintage. So there's some in here that are not vintage, but there are some that are vintage. So I'm probably just going to do this as a lot on eBay. I'm thinking I'll just spread them all out, throw it up as a lot for auction and see what happens. There's a lot of repeats, like Terry's Bar. I don't know if you guys can see that one. But there's some cool ones in here. There's a lot of German beers. So, I don't know, like that one. I'm not even going to try to pronounce them because everybody's just going to laugh. So, moving on. I paid $2 for all the coasters combined. So I think we're going to do all right with the coasters. We're at least going to make $2 back. Let's talk about these. Paid $1 a piece for these as well. I'm not sure who makes these. No clue. They're not marked. I don't know who makes them. They are cute. I'm thinking I'm gonna ask between $12 and $16 a piece. I think that's fair. Let's move on to the Pokeball that I paid $1 for. I don't think it's actually a Pokeball, but when I saw it on the shelf, that's the first thing I thought of is, oh my gosh, that looks like a Pokeball. And so I grabbed it. I think it's just a trinket box. It's got, I don't know if it's actually black clay or if it's just colorized. I'm not sure. But it's marked J. Cruz. That's who made it. Paid $1 for it. I would probably ask $22 to $24 for this. And let's talk about this spongeware candle. Well, no, it's not a candlestick. Somebody used it as a candlestick. So there's a bunch of wax up here. It's actually a bud vase that doubled as a candlestick, apparently. I'm not sure it's marked. I'm not really sure what the mark is, but I paid $1 for it. Bottom is covered in wax too. That's why I'm having a problem reading the mark. Paid $1 for this. This would probably sell between $8 and $12. Unfortunately, it probably came in a pair and I only have a single. So that's going to hurt me, I believe. But it was cute and I had to have it. As with most of the things on this table, including this blue dog, in the case of Juliet, she had to have this. Paid $2 for the blue dog. It's not for sale. It's Juliet's find. It is pretty adorable. And actually, I spotted it first. And I'm like, I'm going to take that with me. And then she spotted it and had to have it. So I think she's forgotten about it, though, because she has no clue it's up here on my table right now. Also, Juliet's piggy bank. Her little princess piggy bank. That ended up on our table as well. Now let's talk about these mugs. So I was super excited about these mugs. I paid $1 for this. $1 for this one. These really resemble the mugs that I got the other day. I paid $1 for this one. Now there is a problem here, and that is that the base of this one has a little bit of a chip on it. A gentle, it's just, when it's sitting flat is when you can really tell. Otherwise it just looks like a rough spot. But when it's flat is when I noticed it. I was like, hey, that's not sitting on the table right. This one has a little chip on the rim. And this one, let's see. This one didn't have anything wrong with it. I think this one is fine. This one is good. Okay, but I paid $1 a piece for them. So these ones, because this one has a chip here, I would probably ask $5, $6 for this. I would probably ask $5, $6 for this. This one, it doesn't have any imperfections. I would probably ask $8 for that one. Since everybody wants to buy broken stuff from me too, I'm just going to list it and put it in the description that it does have imperfections and make sure I take good pictures. So if you guys are interested in those mugs, I will list them. Because every time I say I'm not going to list stuff, there's outrage. So we're just going to go for it. I'm going to list them, and if you like them, they will be in my shop. Also, I have these mugs. Now, I really liked these mugs. You know what? And as a matter of fact, I'm going to even lean forward and give you guys a close-up. I loved these mugs, and they have a really, really good weight to them. They're like, it's like a quality weight. You wouldn't expect it, but they've got a good weight. Paid $2 a piece for them, and they're kind of like square. They're vintage for sure. No markings, $2 a piece. I would probably expect to get 20 to 24 for the 4 of them. So, let's see, did I miss anything? So this is everything we got in yesterday's shopping video. If you haven't seen the video yet, you can check it out. There's a link to it down in the description. But I'm pretty pleased with everything that I got. There's not really a whole lot of high dollar items, but we got some really cool stuff. I'm pretty pleased with the variety of things that we got, even though most of it is mugs. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will catch you next time later. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you've spotted something that you just can't live without, don't worry. I've put a link to our Etsy store down in the description.